Hey everybody, how's it going? Like Butter here, and today I got a Division video for you. This is going to be some bits and pieces of a really nice survival run that I had earlier today. Before I forget, at the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the Christmas skins that they brought out for the Division. There's like a $6 or $7 skin pack that was released for the Christmas season, and I decided to go ahead and get it. The skins are really cool. But more importantly, the reason I got them was because I wanted to like support the game. I feel like for the countless hours that this game has given me for free, I could, give back to. And I know a lot of my viewers in the stream last night were saying the same thing. They just wanted to support. So I have some really exciting news for you guys today. I received an email earlier today saying that I was going to be invited to the Elite Task Force, which is going to be taking place next month, to test 1.6 early. And I am so excited for this because the first Elite Task Force, which took place in Sweden for 1.4, I couldn't make it. I couldn't get my passport in time, and this time it's out in North Carolina at the Red Storm Studios. If you guys don't know what Red Storm is the development team that worked on the Dark Zone and the PvP aspects of the Division. It's the same studio that did the multiplayer for Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six Vegas, all those types of games. So it's going to be an amazing experience. I'm very, very excited to go out and be able to, play test and give my opinions on the massive, 1.6 PvP update that they're going to be doing for this game. Lately, I've been playing a lot of PvP in the Dark Zone, and I've been getting a really good idea of, like, the things that are causing the experience to kind of not feel good. The game has become very signature ability dependent, and I think a lot of that has to do with things such as like the player talents and the uncomplicated alpha bridge combo with the assault rifles. I mean, you never see anyone using SMGs, shotguns, or snipers in the Dark Zone. It's always assault rifles, and I think that's obviously a combination of the enemy armor damage and the way armor works and a bunch of stuff. So if you guys have any suggestions or have any questions that you guys want me to ask the devs about maybe the future of PvP or even the future of PvE, please leave it in the comment section below, and I will try to orchestrate some sort of like write-up of issues that I can bring. I want to bring like a couple pieces of paper of the problems that I have with the PvP in this game and what I think those solutions should be. That way I'm prepared when I go there and I don't miss or forget anything. So if you guys have any suggestions or want to bring up any good points, now's the time to do it. Put it in the comment section below. I promise, I'm going to do my best for you guys. I'm not going to be somebody who goes there and just says, oh yeah, this is great, this is great, this is great because they sent me out. I'm going to obviously politely, because I understand that game devs put a lot of time, effort into their work, and I'm going to go there with the utmost respect for anyone working on the Division. But I feel like it was good for them to choose me because I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to go there and be kissing ass. I'm gonna be like, yeah, like this stuff really needs to be changed, and this needs to happen in order for the future of the game to progress. So I'm very excited for that. I hope you guys are excited that I got chosen to go out. I will do anything in my power, anything I possibly can to make sure that there's going to be a good future PvP experience for this game. I would have to say that this game is quite possibly the most passionate game for me that I've ever played. I've never played a game where I've felt so strongly and so connected to a game, and to see the PvP be lacking so much just really depresses me. Like right now, it's favoring groups. So for example, like, a group of 4 will always destroy a group of 3. a group of 3 will always destroy a group of 2. Like, yeah, here and there, maybe you can pick somebody off if they're not paying attention, but if they're competent and they know that there's someone around, it's always, like, with the enemy armor damage, basically, you know, everyone's got, like, ends up dying really fast, and when people die really fast, it ends up being, like, you know, how many people are shooting the group of 2. The 3 people shooting the group of 2, the 4 people shooting the group of 2, the 2 people shooting the group of 1, you just really don't have a chance. You know, with the large cooldowns on skills and stuff like that, you know, it gives leeway to groups but not solo players. And I think that if there is a group of 3 and they're very coordinated and they're good at the game, that they should be able to outplay a group of 4 no matter what the circumstances are. If that group of 4 gets outplayed and they get outsmarted, they should lose that fight. And currently, with the way that the signature abilities can just be chained, you know, chained together, like you see, like Tac Link and you know, Survivor Link just kind of pop back to back, and then people run away and wait for their ults to come back off cooldown, and then they go in and they spam ults again. So I'm hoping in the future that there can be some sort of balance to ults. You know, in my opinion, the signature ability, if you know what like a signature move is in most games, it's a move that a single player or a single character has. And I really would like to see the cooldowns of the signature abilities reduced, maybe half. So like instead of it being like 5 minutes to come off cooldown, it's more of like 2.5 minutes, and then have those signature abilities only affect yourself. Or what they could do is they could make it so that it affects yourself, but it only affects your teammate with 50% of the bonus or something like that. I think Tactical Link needs to get looked at. I think it's just unbelievably strong, I think, with the addition to the enemy armor damage in PvP. And, like, I know there's a lot of people out there that were questioning, like, they were like, you know, like Butter or Drew, you said that you wanted to see enemy armor damage in the game. What happened? And I think it's a combination of things. I think, one, I think armor needs to really get reworked. I think the way that armor gives you mitigation to reduce the amount of damage that you take from all sources, no matter where you are or how much damage you're taking, I think that's a little bit too strong. I would like to see the game built more on health pool rather than, you know, how much mitigation you have, because what happens is you have these DPS players that have high mitigation, and with the resistances from player talents and their skills, they can end up taking a large amount of damage, even though they're built to do a lot of damage. So you have this break, right? Usually you want DPS players to do a lot of damage, tank players to be able to take a lot of damage, and then skill players are going to be the support players that help their teams and have really powerful skills. But what happens is when you have the combination of resistances and the fact that people have like 55% mitigation, even if they're DPS players, it causes this problem where, you know, the DPS players are still almost impossible to kill. If you want to do large amounts of damage and you spec all of your stuff into doing that high amount of damage, then that's fine, but you should be able to get put down pretty easily regardless of what the skills or you know, player talents that you're running. And I think that constant, the constant fact of how strong armor is, when they added enemy armor damage in, since it's only a minor stat, you're really not giving anything up for it. I think that if they had it as a major stat but gave it more, so for example, I think on like knee pads or something, it was like 8% enemy armor damage. In order for it to be a stat that's significant, then they need to remove like armor completely out of the game, because there's no stat that's in the major attribute that's going to be more useful than mitigating all of the damage that you take from NPCs, from players, from anything. It's just a little bit too much. So I would like to see them raise the health pool, just scrap mitigation altogether, and hopefully we get a more, unique experience in the Dark Zone, because right now in the Dark Zone, it's the same thing happens every single time I play it. You go into the Dark Zone, you see a couple groups of players. They start running around each other. Everyone waits for one group to go rogue. That one group just gets shot down, and then boom. Like the only time I ever see like a group of players surviving on a server is if there isn't other groups on the server. So sometimes I'll see like this group of 4 rogues, but there will be like, 8 or 9 solo or 2-man groups running for them, and that coordinated group of 4 is always going to win those engagements because of the coordination that's involved. And I'm all for team play. I think it's a great thing that you can work together as your team and buff each other and that kind of thing. But it shouldn't feel impossible to go into a fight and feel like there's no chance of being able to take down any of those targets because of the coordination and the spamming of skills and that kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Red Storm has done with the PvP and see really the real potential that this game has when it comes to PvP. I mean, survival is fantastic. I love it. You still get those division-y fights where people use skills and they kind of strafe back and forth and whatnot, but you don't get the constant 20 to 30 second gunfights where everyone's like running around, hip firing, no one's doing damage to each other, and then all of a sudden everyone's player talents runs out, and then boom, somebody's getting melted. It's more consistent. Like, you can tell that when you're shooting somebody and you're hitting headshots, you can see their health pool depleting a lot faster than if you're shooting them in the chest or something. In the Dark Zone, you really don't get rewarded for getting headshots because of the amount of damage that gets reduced from mitigations and from player skills and all that other stuff. I also hope that if they continuously try to make the Dark Zone better, that they have some sort of better indication of who's running what build, because currently, right now, you're just as good as your build. Sometimes it's really hard to tell like what you're shooting at, and I thought a really cool idea would be, instead of aiming at somebody and seeing like the 3 segments of health that they have, what if those segments of health got split up into a certain portion of health? So for example, like every health segment was like 25,000 health or 50,000 health. That way you would know which players were tanks and which players were DPS. You have no indication of knowing who's running what in the Dark Zone until we get some sort of indication for that. I think that the strategic fights are going to be more up to luck, whereas you get lucky and you shoot a DPS player, or you get unlucky and you shoot someone that's really tanky that's spamming player talents. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to drop the video a like, and like I said, please let me know in the comment section below some things that you want me to bring up when going to North Carolina. I'm super excited and I'm super thankful that they chose me to go out there, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully helping to make this game get on a better path in the PvP world. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care, everybody!